Watch us how we move like this. Watch us how we move. Oh, yeah. Da, 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 da. Watch us how we move like this. Watch us how we move. Oh, yeah. Da, 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 da. Watch us how we move like this. Watch us how we move. Oh, yeah. Da, 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 da. Watch us how we move like this. Watch us how we move. Oh, yeah. Da, 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 da. We gon' move like this, like this, like this. Yeah, we gon' move like this, like this. Oh, yeah. Da, 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 da. We gon' move like this, like this, like this. Yeah, we gon' move like this, like this. Oh, yeah. Da, 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 da. Watch us how we move like this. Watch us how we move. Oh, yeah. Da, 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 da. Watch us how we move like this. Watch us how we move. Oh, yeah. Da, 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 da. Watch us how we move like this. Watch us how we move. Oh, yeah. Da, 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 da. Watch us how we move like this. Watch us how we move. Oh, yeah. Da, 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 da. We gon' move like this, like this, like this. Yeah, we gon' move like this, like this. Oh, yeah. Da, 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 da. We gon' move like this, like this, like this. Yeah, we gon' move like this, like this. Oh, yeah. Da, 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 da. Huh.
Do you want to start, Dr. Bruno? I could start.
I will start. I will start. Good afternoon, everybody. Today's discussion is going to be designed to help early stage investigators navigate one of what we feel is probably one of the most intimidating aspects of academic research and career development, and that's identifying, approaching, and cultivating a mentorship relationship that is beneficial or supports our long term success in cancer research and academic medicine. I hope today that our discussion helps to sort of normalize the anxiety that a lot of ESIs experience around mentorship and also provide some strategies for outreach and relationship building and emphasize that mentorship is this active and evolving type of process. So that's kind of what today's discussion is going to be about. So I'm going to start with an intro question. Anybody can jump in and have at it. But that is, who was one of the earliest mentors who significantly influenced your career?
I
Anybody?
can answer that.
Okay.
Yeah, one of my earliest mentor was the person that supervised my MSc. I had known him. I mean, I have heard about his name, but
Mm-hmm.
while I was an undergraduate, so I thought he was dead. I'd never seen him before. I just thought he
Y'all
was,
better bullet joker, you done killed the man.
yeah, I didn't know he was still alive, because that material was in the 80s. I used it. It was a food composition table for Africa, I mean Nigerian foods. That was very rare. So I
Mm-hmm.
just thought, oh, I don't know how I just came up with that. Only to register for MSc in another school. And I saw the man walked in. I was like, oh, really? I never
Thought you
asked
seen a
questions.
ghost.
I just concluded. I don't know how I got that conclusion, to be honest. Maybe somebody subtly suggested that, and I just took it. But it was so exciting, and I got a scholarship that he was overseeing. It was allocated to me as a supervisor, and I learned a lot. He taught me how to do literature review, and he really taught me a lot of things, and really stimulated my interest the more in the academic profession. To become an academia, it was thanks to him because he made me see how to become an academia. Yeah.
How was he acting
That
like
was yeah,
nutrition?
he's a professor of, funny enough, animal nutrition.
Oh,
Professor E.B. Oguntono. So
mm-hmm.
he taught me
That's right.
advances
Say
in
his
nutrition.
name. Say his name.
Professor E.B. Oguntono. Yeah, I'm going to tell him about this program. I want him to come and check it out.
Tell
He
him you gave
was
him a shout out.
yeah, it was amazing. He stimulated my interest to be an academia. He would tell me, Bola Joko, you can do more than being a lecturer. Can write desk review, you can do so many things for organizations, you can write grants. So he actually was one that made me see, because my MSc scholarship was more or less that you just apply and
Mm-hmm.
then, but he made me see, he showed me how to write grants actually. He showed me even his own work and how he got grants
Mm-hmm.
working in a Nigeria university, how he worked for FAO, WHO. No, FAO is Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations. So he
Mm-hmm.
showed me a lot of things, Micronutrient International. And so that really made me wanted to do much more than teaching in the classroom.
Mm. Okay.
Interesting.
Anybody else?
Maybe for me was just I didn't even know, and I joined maybe my undergrad. I was actually supposed to switch to a different department, and so I started off with that department in Nigeria. But when I was ready to move to the law department, the professor said no, and that he enjoyed my work, that I write very well, but and all that, and was like, no, you belong here, you write, we would make you write. And so that was it. I stayed back in that department, and then when I came to the US to do my master's, again I was writing, and my one of my professors one of them, Dr. Jejing Lee, she just said, Uju, this is where you're headed. You write a lot on health communication, you write a lot on all that. And then she suggested we do a paper together. That was how I even bounced on cervical cancer. And that
Mm-hmm.
was it. That was when the whole thing was birthed. And she wanted me to stay back immediately and continue with my PhD, but I had other interests. I wasn't ready. So I would say my professor from Nigeria, he's late now. And
Mm-hmm.
then Dr. Jejin Lee, I'm sure she doesn't even know now, but she identified and said, this is where you're headed. This is what you always write about. In the space of one semester, you've consistently addressed health issues. I think this is who you are. I want to do a paper with you. I think you should pursue a PhD. And that was I didn't even know. I was like, oh, okay, give me time to think about it, and that was it. So I just
That is it. Oh,
write
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
it. I didn't know that I was writing, like, but yeah.
You trying to follow directions? Go ahead, Dr. Zoe.
Yeah. For me, I like to share. That's my PhD mentor, Dr. Ellen Peters. Her work focuses on judgment and decision making. So what I learned from her work that really stayed with me is that people's cognitive abilities are limited, and that applies to everyone. Uh, Even those very smart, high trained people can have difficulty understanding information when
Mm-hmm.
it is complex, familiar, or outside their field. So that's eye opening for me. Actually, struggling with complex information is not a personal failure, it is part of being human. So
Mm-hmm.
this helped me understand the value of what I'm working on. So I am becoming more and more convinced that helping make the health risk information or decision aids or more accessible to people is meaningful. Yeah. So
Oh,
that's very helpful for me.
mm-hmm. And health literacy is not the same as literacy. We see that every day in the work that we do. Um, but we can go on to our very first topic. So the first thing we're really going to start talking about today is why mentorship feels intimidating for early investigators. So some of the issues that we've all faced have been that fear of rejection, imposter syndrome, navigating power dynamics in academia or academic medicine, um, not feeling like you are accomplished enough, and being uncertain on, how to initiate those conversations with people that you desire to be a mentor. So our question surrounding this area is going to be, why do so many ESIs struggle to approach potential mentors? I'll start with you, Dr. Zoe.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Don't
also
laugh.
sometimes a struggle to me. Yes, I want to share. Yeah, so I think mainly because worry about taking up someone's time, especially when they are senior people, they are so busy, hard to reach, and also worrying about asking wrong questions or make us sounding not ready enough, especially when they are some
Oh,
big
yeah.
name or well established in this field. Yeah, so and also sometimes it's also because as a ESIs, maybe sometimes we don't know how to define what kind of mentorship we need from this specific person. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think all this contributes to the reason why we are about reaching them.
Oh, yeah. I completely agree, Dr. Bolajoka.
Yeah, I concur with what Dr. Zu said, especially time. You know, the major issue for me is, when you send an email and it's probably going to be buried under multiple emails since they probably don't know you so much and your name is not ringing a bell. So I think it's just the time and also being able to get their attention with the right question, I would say. So I think that's for me, that's the major one to even get the person's attention. But I discover that sometimes if we go to conferences, we really get to sit with them and then they listen more. Then that
Mm-hmm.
helps the conversation to really start. So even though in the even though we do a lot of online and emails, sometimes attending conferences and meeting some of these people helps.
Okay. Mm, Dr. Alice?
Yeah, I will build on what Dr. Joko said. And besides that nothing beats the in person. So for me, I've had situations where the imposter syndrome, asking the wrong questions, sending emails, and they don't respond. And then you get to conferences. So conferences have always been, I always really believe the informal way of meeting. So conferences, I actually go with names. Like I always often look through the list to see who's
Yes.
coming, and then I go and I make sure I'm in the same room that's the conference rooms or meeting rooms. And then I walk up to you with my label. Hi, do you remember my name? And I sent you an email. And most times they don't remember. So I found out that what I'm thinking in my head is always not what it is. So that they didn't respond to my email, it's not always that because I am not smart enough, or maybe they don't have time. It's just that they don't see it. So for me it's always been, oh my god, they didn't respond to my email. Maybe they don't have time. Maybe I'm not even aligning. So for me, that's particular one, besides the imposter syndrome, asking the wrong questions, but when they don't that availability, when they don't respond to the emails, a million things start running through my
Mhm.
head, and maybe they don't know how to say no to me because but when I go to conferences and I meet them, oh, it's usually different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think for me, probably closer to what Dr. Zoe said is um, I don't really know what it is that I'm about to ask this person to mentor me on. Like I may understand the research area that they've, made a career in, but how do I fit in that? And what piece of what they do can assist me? You really can't really articulate that when you're a novice researcher. You just like, look, I need help. Any help you can give me, I'll be glad to take it. And that is hard for a mentor to work with because then that puts more work on them. Like you're not coming to me with a clear identified idea of how I can assist you in becoming a researcher. And that is a problem. So I agree with you, Dr. Zoe.
But wouldn't we, for me, sorry, just to
No.
say this, I usually would go through the names, see the work that they've done so far, and
Mm-hmm.
then see where I could possibly align. So most times I already have a not so clear, but at least an idea of what I want to get from this person,
Okay.
you know.
Now, that person, now we're going to go into identifying who that person is. So, identifying the right mentor. Now, some of the major characteristics that you look for, that I look for in a mentor, is more so research alignment. That's probably the first thing.
Mhm.
Maybe a particular type of communication style that they use, availability, like being accessible,
Mhm.
having those shared values when it comes to research. Being able to sponsor my research. That's really big. Emotional fitness of the actual mentor and being able to handle um, a myriad of needs that an ESI can have. Because even though you may identify what it is that you need from that person, once you become their mentee, they may identify three more needs. They're like, okay, you're weak here, here, and here. So, just being able to look at you as a complete person and identify those needs. So, what are qualities that you think that ESI should prioritize when identifying a mentor?
I
Dr.
can go.
Alice? Okay, go ahead, Dr. Alice.
Yeah, I would say number one is research alignment to ensure that my work aligns with what they do.
Mm-hmm.
And because that would honestly naturally stimulate the conversation, it makes the conversation easier and
Yeah.
also help me to know how this person can help me. And then the mentor also would say that he could actually be of great help, that his experience or her experience would help. That's what I think for
Mm-hmm.
me.
Yeah, I want to second Dr. Balajoka's opinion. Yeah, the expertise and experience in the area is obviously very critical for for the mentorship. And besides that, I would also looking for mentors who are generous with feedback and supports, so that I mean the mentors could help us sharpen our immature ideas or opinions or directions, or give us some perspective uh, to point out our blind spots because of our limited perspectives compared to the senior person maybe, and also help us to make some better strategic decisions toward our long-term goals. So yeah, that's what I think.
Dr. Alicia?
Yeah, we all mentioned very critical areas, but yeah, for me, it has to also always boil down to making sure that our research that it's a good fit, and even if it's not exactly the same, because no two research areas two research ideals are the same, but
Mhm.
at least there's a good fit, and communication it's clear, and feedback.
Yes.
Yes, those are very important. You know, so for me, yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna say being accessible. Like, and being accessible and being free, two totally different things. Like, we have a very busy mentor, but she's accessible. Like, and she is full of wisdom when it comes to, different things that we can try when it
Yes,
comes to, our, research trajectory. So having that accessibility to somebody who's been there and done that, and that also has a network to back the fact that she's been there and done that. I think that's very important for me as somebody who's looking for a mentor or looking to be the mentee of someone who's a very busy mentor.
yeah.
Um, you
The
were gonna say
striking thing. Did I cut you again?
no, go ahead. That's fine. Go
Sorry.
ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to piggyback on that. The striking thing about the feedback is that she's able to give tailored feedback. So what she gives to Dr. Paula Joko is entirely different from what she gives to you. So
Yep.
that's also important. So someone who is not giving me some generic feedback, oh, do
Exactly.
this, do that, but someone who's really, able
Hmm.
to tailor feedback to, your field, your area,
Hmm.
it's very key.
And
Yeah.
she's somebody who continuously is looking to evolve the work that she does,
Yes.
which pushes you to
So yeah,
continuously thinking about evolving the work that you do. So, some
absolutely.
of that stuff is, it may not, be accessibility, but just being in proximity to somebody who is constantly thinking about
Evolving.
what's the next step, what's the next step, what's the next step. Being in proximity to somebody like that also helps you out as a researcher.
Keeps you on your toes.
Hands, fingers, everything.
Yeah.
Um, let's talk about building confidence to reach out to said mentor. We have a very shared mentor. So, what were some of the major challenges in reaching out to her? Now, reaching out to other mentors, you could be, we already talked about bothering somebody. Like, you have the fear of just like, I send an email and they're just, it's buried under 2,000 other emails, and you just like, okay, look, I'm just another thing on that to-do list. Nobody wants to be that person. Being uncertain about what you're actually going to say once you get an opportunity to talk to them. Have we talked about conferences, but having that anxiety about being in the same room and waiting in line to walk up to the person that you really want to be your mentor, or those overall feelings of being unqualified. How can ESIs overcome that fear of reaching out to senior investigators, and what has helped you overcome that fear?
I can start.
Hmm.
Okay, for me, I always read up on their work and what they are currently doing. And so usually when I meet them, which I would rather do an informal like conferences, but if that doesn't even happen, so whatever opportunity or avenue I'm able to have, I usually will start the discussion with what you do, and at least that shows you that okay, this person knows what I do. So I usually will start the discussion with some of your work, and that sets usually sets, and then they're like, "Oh, come of it. Oh, really?" And then everything that is helpful for me because it calms me, right? And that anxiety is, and then they start talking to you about it or stretch it a bit, and then eventually boils down to me. So
Mm-hmm.
at that point, my the anxiety, the fear of receiving a no, it's really pushed down. I mean, that's what's worked for me all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It goes down. So I start with, "Oh, hi, Dr. Borna. It's really, I've heard about your work on diabetes and AI. I read about it. And that usually sets the tone, you know,
Mm-hmm.
for me.
But what if you don't have a conference coming up?
No, 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 even if it were not a conference,
Mm-hmm.
at a conference, I usually would show, I sent you an email, like you would wear a label, "Hi, my
Or
name
I
is,"
point to
send
your
you an
name.
email. Yeah, that's totally different. But one on one, I'll start with Dr. Bona. I think I'll really read it, and then you start discussing with me, and then it sets the tone for me, and for me, it helps me, it brings down that fear and all that. So.
Okay. All right, Dr. Zoe.
Yeah, I totally agree with Dr. Lich's strategy, and also I learned from her suggestion or showings. And I agree that preparation really helps building the confidence. So every time I want to reach out, I will do a lot of homework behind the stage, and including the linking page and the scholar papers and the profile on the website, everything I can reach out to prepare the conversation. So I want to ensure every message or conversation initiated is thoughtful instead of random to leave a good first impression. Try my best.
Okay, Dr. Bulajuka.
Yeah, I think I completely agree with that. One of the things I try to do personally is not to assume what the response will be. So I'd rather get a no than to assume that you would say no. But
Mm-hmm.
interestingly, many times when I approach people, they've never said no.
Yes.
So, even when we assume that they are busy or they are this or that, but at the end of the day, it's not just so, it's to, I told myself, and on many occasions, even about people, even if I've heard that this person is like this or that, I'll just decide to start on a fresh note and not assume what responses would be, and be direct about what I want to do.
I think one of the things that I've had success in is finding somebody who knows that person. Like that is how I was able to really meet Dr. Odena, was that I found somebody who already knew the type of work that I wanted to do. And I could say, hey, if you could, broker a conversation or send an email on my behalf or a introduction, like that would be great. And that kind of worked for me. But finding somebody who may not be as senior as the mentor that you are really thinking about working with and wanting to work with, and asking if they could broker that type of conversation for you. So that's what's kind of worked for me. I wanted to talk about navigating difficult mentorship experiences, but I think we're going to jump down to building confidence through our preparation and visibility. So we know preparation builds confidence. Visibility also creates the type of opportunity that we're all looking for as a researcher. It exposes opportunities to advocate for yourself, and it ultimately helps you in developing what we consider our professional identity. What things have you done to become more visible in your field? And we've talked about conferences, so we can't say conferences anymore. But what other things have you done to be more visible in your field?
In my field or within their field.
In our field, in our field.
Uh,
I think for me, I throw the name of my mentors around.
What? Yes.
of
I
course.
throw I throw the names around, copy them on
Yes.
email. And when I'm having conversation, I talk about my mentor and what she said
Drama.
and her opinion. So I just throw those around, and I see that people get more comfortable, and they just feel comfortable to work with me if they know that, oh, she's from this person. And so that's what I do.
Yes. Dr. Liche.
The same endorsement. I call it endorsement.
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 That is a
That's what I call it.
Yeah. So connecting on social media and publishing some posts in the field and with thoughtful opinions. I think, yeah.
Yeah.
In addition to conference connections.
oh yeah, oh yeah, and endorsements. Endorsements are big. Name dropping is, and
I tell
most
you.
people, oh, don't do that. No, do that. They need to know that you know them, and they need to know that they know you. Sometimes it's not in who you know, but sometimes it's more in who knows you. So
Yeah,
yes, drop that
absolutely.
name.
Drop the
Drop a
name.
couple of names. Drop a couple of names. All right,
It
I think we're
works.
gonna.
It
Oh, go ahead.
works.
Go ahead.
It works. It works big time.
Oh yeah, I think it does. I think it does. But we are, we're having a good time. We are running out of time. So, um, I want to thank everybody for joining us today and being a part of our conversation. And I hope that it has sparked something in you all to reach out to that mentor that you've been thinking about reaching out to. Don't be scared. Do all the things that we've done, and some other things that maybe we've not mentioned that has worked for other people in your field. But thank you for joining us for today's conversation, and we're going to segue to Dr. Odetta.
Thank you. Bye.
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 Okay, thank you. Oh my goodness. Yes. Thank you so much. I could listen to Ascend forever. They were making so much great points. It was so great to be listening to them. I'm not sure 30 minutes is enough for this for the Ascend. So we may have to do something about that because I just enjoyed listening to their experiences and the ability to just sort of feed off on on what to do. So thank you, Dr. Bona, Dr. Balajoku, Dr. Zoe, and Dr. Aliche. And what a transition it is going to be for today. Today, we are going to be talking about exactly what all of us struggle with. So, first of all, welcome back to Academic Diaries with Professor O, where science meets real life. I'm Professor Falakemi Odedino. And today I want to answer one of the key questions I hear all the time. That I also, despite over 30 years of being in academia, I still struggle with this. What exactly do you do all week? How do you spend your time to be able to be productive? Given that you don't have much time. So if you don't take anything away from me today, one of the things that I want you to take away, which is my core message today, is that academia is not a 9 to 5 job. I'm sure you already realize that. It is a life that you build around discovery, leadership, mentorship, and purpose. The key is not working all the time because we cannot all be working all the time. We cannot work all around the clock. It is learning how to protect your time for what matters most. So, if you could please help me bring up the PowerPoint slide on this, that would be great. I'm ready for that. So, so one of the things that most people really do not realize is that most people kind of think there's this idea of what professors do, what do they use their time to do, and then maybe you're thinking, okay, you teach, you do some research, and you do this and you do that, but whew, and sometimes people think once you become a full professor, I'm tenured, I'm a full professor, I can then chill. I don't have to stress myself because I worked so hard to reach that professorship stage. I wish, I wish. the reality of being a productive professor. So that's kind of different, not just being a professor. The reality is that being a professor isn't a job that you clock into. There's no set hours, there is no set time. It is a profession that you live. It is. So, what I'm going to do today is quickly, within the next 25 minutes or so, take you behind the scenes of how my life is, not one day, but one week. So what exactly do I do? So, that's kind of what I want to do. But I want to hear from you. So let's hear from you. Once you hear the word professor, what comes to your mind? So let's see some things in the chat. What comes to your mind when you hear the word professor? What do you think of? What do you think they do? What do you think are the things that are priorities in their mind? What are some of the things that they really are doing? So kind of let's see those in the comments. Let's see those in the comment sections. As you're writing this in the comment section, I'm going to share some of the things that people may think about. Professor teach in the classroom, so researcher in the lab. So I'm not seeing your comments yet. Keep it coming. Let's see what you think, professors do. They are experts in the field. They are mentors and advisors, as we had in the asset programs. They are leaders and change makers. They are overwhelmed and always busy. Okay. Something else entirely. So, what are you thinking about? Let me see. I'm not seeing anything in the chat yet. We're going to stop until I finally see something in the chat. So, what do you think is behind the title if you are a professor? I know I see quite a number of people on there, so I know there's going to be. What do you see? I just need to see one. Come on, let's hear it. I'm giving you some good examples. Mentor, thank you. Teacher, mentor, thank you. Now it's coming. Now we see it coming. Yes, yes. What else do you see? What else do you think about? Foundation of knowledge. Absolutely. Okay, we're getting great ideas coming up. Okay, great. We're seeing the comments come up. I think we need to switch the comment section off for this one so that I can be able to see very well. Thank you so much. But I'm seeing it in the chat. I'm seeing it in the chat. So great. Keep it coming as we go on. This might be a little bit of a different idea that you never think about. So, what about if I told you I schedule my week almost like a CEO of a company, right? Would that be a surprise for you? And that is what I'm going to show you. If you look at the way I schedule my week and the way my week is scheduled, you might want to think that is surprising, right? But here is how I lead my week like a CEO. This is true. Everything that you see here is something that I literally wrote down from Sunday all the way to this past Saturday because I wanted to be truthful, I wanted to be candid. And what I did within that time was to set the vision, to plan strategically, to think about investing in my team, especially the early stage investigators. What can I do? I'm about to go on vacation. What do I need to do to make sure that everybody is okay? To drive key initiatives, whether it's research, whether it's grants, whether it's publications, whether it's partnership, I start thinking about this to protect focus time, to think globally, because I'm doing a lot globally right now, and to lead with purpose. Review, refine, repeat, rinse, and come back again, because I'm always doing a lot of review. So I don't manage my time. I don't manage my week as an academician. And I joke sometimes when I tell people that I'm almost like a small business. I think like a CEO, that I'm really running my research enterprise, right? I manage my priorities, people, project, and purpose. That's the way I think about the work that I do. So my calendar is not just a calendar. My calendar truly shows what my priorities are. And my calendar truly shows what I need to get done. I just want to pause for a minute. This is my calendar. I just want you to take a look at my calendar because I did a screenshot because I wanted to be very candid with you what a typical week looks like. So in looking at this calendar, I hope you can see it very clearly. Can some of you just say some things that jumps out at you from this calendar? What jumps out at you from this calendar that you're looking at? Just tell me a little bit of what jumps out. And while we are doing that, I'm gonna flip on to the next stage, but just kind of think about this calendar and what jumps out at you, right? So, and first, I want to say this calendar most probably captures from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. That you see. It's just for you to do as I say and not as I do. I wish you would just put your time from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. A typical day for me sometimes starts at 5 a.m. I may not end till 10 p.m. Um, I kind of have what I think as a superpower. I could stay still in a place outside biological break and not move if I'm doing something. I have so much concentrated power. I could stay on till midnight until I finish what I want to do. So, um, and then when I end at 10 p.m., I sit in a very relaxing chair and then I start answering WhatsApp messages from global partners. Then most probably, if I get the time, I set up to post on social media as well. So this is kind of what my calendar looks like, right? Now let me tell you how I really, really manage the work that I do. uh, as I go through my daily routines, I make sure that I am comfortable with what I do. So as yes, I'm sorry if it's not too clear. I'm gonna be talking a little bit more on something that is clear in a minute. This is what I want you to think because I don't want this to be a spectator walk. I want you to think to the last 1 week, actually. Just think about the last 1 week. Think about what you did. Take a moment. You don't have to write it in the chat. If you have a chance to write it in the chat, write it in the chat. If not, actually just take a notepad and start thinking, what did I do on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? Think about how you spend your hours in the last 1 week. What filled your time? So there's something that fills your time. From what filled your time, what actually moved you forward? Because you could have a lot of busy time within a week. And at the end of the week, you have not moved forward with an inch. That's a disastrous week. You might as well be on vacation, right? So think about what filled your time within the last 1 week. Think about all those things that filled your time within the last week. What moved you forward? And what drained your energy? Now, that is very important when you're thinking about it. If you're comfortable, feel free to share. You don't have to share the whole details, but if there's anything that is going to help people, please feel free to share, right? Again, I want to say this. What did you fill your time with? At the end of the day, you should be asking yourself, everything that I did today, what moved me forward and what drained my energy? There's some times that I've canceled meetings because if I look at that meeting and say, this is going to drain my energy, well, maybe I need to reschedule until I feel it's not something that is worthwhile. And sometimes by the time I reschedule, the problem is solved. So that was a good thing, right? So this reflection is what I want you to take, and I want it to really inspire you. My key things that I want to really focus on today is that let your priorities shape your calendar and help you work smarter and not just harder. I don't like it when people say I'm working hard. I mean, working hard means nothing. You could work hard and you haven't moved an inch forward. Have you worked smarter? Right? Let your priorities shift in the way that you do your calendar. That's what it needs to be. Now I hope you can see this, and I will share this. So if you want to copy, please reach out to our ICARE team. I will give this to the ICARE team so that you can have a copy. So what I want to discuss, and I'm going to stay here and talk a little bit. What I want to discuss is for you to just kind of see how I spend my week, the past week. This is a typical week for me. If sometimes there are changes, or if I'm on vacation, or if I have grants and then I block my time and all I'm doing is right like that. But this is what my typical week looks like. Sunday is the week begins for me. Most people think the work week begins on Monday morning. No, not for me. Mine begins on Sunday afternoon. In the morning, I have to do church, worship, reflection, family time. Then around 2 p.m., I start transitioning. And I transitioning into an afternoon that is a sacred scholarship time for me. That afternoon is really scholarship time. And that begins to prepare my mind. It could be I'm finishing a manuscript that afternoon. It could be I'm revising a grant. It could be I'm responding to revising a protocol. It could be that I have a publication that has been accepted and I need to do the galley proof and I need to finish doing it. So that's kind of what I spend that afternoon, Sunday afternoon doing. This isn't about working every weekend. This is about, for me, creating uninterrupted thinking space. And when I'm doing this in the afternoon, what I like is that it's not like my usual work hours that I concentrate so much with no distraction. I could actually be doing it in front of a TV. So I could be watching my Yoruba Nigerian movies. I don't know how many of you are Yoruba, but I could work as well as watch Yoruba Nigerian movies at the same time and get to the movie and I'm still being very productive. Or it could be I'm watching horror movies in the background. So there's something typically on the Sunday afternoon while I'm working, there's something in the background. So that is kind of how I spend my Sunday. Now, let's go to Monday and Tuesday. What you don't see over there in Monday and Tuesday is they are my scholarship days. I do not take meetings unless very, very urgent. I do not take meetings. My Mondays and Tuesdays are totally blocked. It used to be Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesday, but with my administrative position, that quickly went away. So I try to do Monday, Tuesday. Sometimes I will reach out to my administrative executive person to please help me to block out Wednesday morning so that I can do Sunday afternoon, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday morning. Those are big green blocks, no meetings. That is being intentional about what I'm doing. It is one of the best decisions I have ever made for protecting my scholarship. Okay. Because during these days, uninterruptedly, can wake up at 4:30 a.m. I can wake up at 3 a.m. I can start writing anytime, write grant, publish paper, develop protocols, look at data, review the ASI's grants, review brainstorming. I could do anything at that time, right? So this is the time that, for me, the concept is valuable for creative thinking. It's valuable for me to have that concentrated Sunday afternoon, the whole of Monday, the whole of Tuesday, if I can afford it, the whole of Wednesday morning. It is great because ideas don't happen between meetings. If you are having meetings, let me just tell you, if you are having meetings and you're leaving 1 hour between your meetings, okay, I get a 1 hour break. I don't know how you can do any thinking or how you can do anything productive. For me personally, I cannot. I cannot. So I have to have block of time. And these ideas and what you do, they don't happen between the meetings. They happen because we protect our time to think. You need time to think. You need uninterrupted time to think. So so I have block time. So when Nate is saying nope, she's not available, and it's actually in my signature line for my email. I do not take Mondays and Tuesdays for meeting. They are my research days. Okay. These are also the days when you'll find me in my grant writing clothes. So usually there could be something urgent that's going on. It could be from one of my funding agencies, like, can you please get on Tuesday? We just need about 15 minutes of your time. Well, you get me, but you don't get me on camera because I am I am like in my grant writing clothes. I'm, looking however I want to look, just comfortable clothes, coffee, and my desktop to do the work that I need to do. So then let's move on to Wednesday. The Wednesday is when I bridge uh between thinking. This is the way I look at it. This is when I bridge between thinking and leading, right? Wednesday becomes my transition day. Sometimes, like I said, I protect my meetings. Sometimes there's such a lot going on that I'm not able to protect my meeting. And then the research meetings begin, the project meetings, the grant meetings, the lab meetings, the collaborators meetings, the early stage investigators, international partners. So research that those time when I bridge when I'm having those meetings, they're really very critical. They're very important. They are highly valuable because research is not something that you do alone. Research is a teamwork. So keen in and making sure that I'm very working very closely with whether it's my national team or my global team is very, very important. This is where all those conversations come together, all those great ideas comes together for us to do the work that we do, all the ideas for the implementation of what we need to do, all the brainstorming, all the putting out all the fires that are going on. This is where it starts happening. On Thursdays and Fridays, also typically my leadership days. Thursdays, I usually, Cancer Center Leadership Day. It's a day that actually I look forward to it because I have early stage investigators meeting on that day. Is either that we have a group meeting of all the early stage investigators in my lab, or I have one-on-one. I also have one-on-one for 1 hour with them. So these days are kind of completely different. My mind is totally shifted into, so as I go through each day, my mind shifts for each day. On Thursday, my mind is totally shifted to executive leadership, operational meetings, research administration, strategic planning, sometimes budget discussions that I don't like, but it has to happen. Committee work, grant leadership, institutional building, one-on-one mentoring, which I enjoy so much. I love the one-on-one that I have with the early stage investigators in the lab, whether it's individually or together. We have our joint lab meetings every Friday in the morning, which I love. Is all our global team that are together, um, and global collaboration. So these and interruptions, they are part of how we lead. Those leadership is invisible work, and people see our outputs, but the time that we put in are all those meetings. So even when we're doing all those meetings, I make sure that they are what we're seeing are meetings that make sense. So the last day of the week is Saturday. I return back to scholarship. Saturday becomes another scholarship day because after 2 days of meetings, 2 or 3 days of meetings, I need time to start thinking. And there's a lot of ideas that are coming up from those meetings as well. So it's kind of the time that I do writing, planning, reading, reviewing, creating, thinking, and reflecting. And I usually will have a TV running in the background. Sometimes, sometimes I would say I'm going to work till around 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturday, and then the rest, I might be watching TV with my husband, and it's in the background, but I'm still doing some work. So that gives me this idea of how I organize and do my scholarship. So I hope that you all are sharing, what you have and how you're moving forward, as well. So that kind of gives me this idea of what my reality is. There's what you perceive as the reality. There's the reality of what I do. And being able, so if you have any questions, please feel free to post your questions, because we are going to have only about 5 more minutes left. I can take one or two questions maybe. But my reality is, this is just an example of what I was able to list as what I do. But the last bullet is not wrong. I really, really see that majority of my work is that CEO, small business owner, to be able to really, really capture what is important, what needs to be done, and how it is how it needs to be done. That's just the reality of the things. So that's just kind of some way on the work that we do. So if you have any questions, please feel free to state the questions. In some, I hope that I'm actually giving you sort of just a backdrop of how my life typically is, and the work that we do. So being a professor isn't one job. It is 20 jobs woven into one career. It literally is a lot of work. But it is not, so you have to figure out, how do I begin to work smart? That's it. I think with decades, you know, I've been able to figure out how to work smartly, when to work smartly. And even though I protect myself, there are multiple times in the week that I would say, in the year, that I would say to my administrative, partner who does my scheduling, Nate, that I would say, and she knows. The one thing about Nate is that she really truly knows when I need that time. Just with an email or a call or a text message to her, that I say, Nate, I need this week. She would say no more. And that week is cleared. Cleared. No meetings, no nothing. She just clears it. And that to me is very important. And I've done that 3, 4 times a year, in which I just clear my calendar, because I truly need the week to be able to just kind of get what I need to do. So, my message, I see a couple of questions, and I'm going to take those couple of questions. My message is that, don't let your calendar control your priorities. I think a lot of people, especially if you're just starting an academic year, it's like the meeting there, let me add it, Oh, it's going to be a Monday. I will put the meeting on Monday. It's going to be on Tuesday. Why are you having meetings on every day? That means you're letting your calendar control your priorities. And since I always put my foot down, these days I don't have meetings. Sorry. But you have to let your priorities shape your calendar. You have to be intentional to be impactful, so that you can create a legacy that really that is sound. So I'll take a couple of questions. I think I'm right on time, 3 more minutes. The first question, and we can take down the PowerPoint slide. This first question is, where you lay it out there, a lot of responsibility of a professor that most of us didn't know. Oh, thank you. Thank you, sweetie pie. There are a lot of responsibility, and you just kind of have to figure out, how do I manage it? And I think with time, with experience, you begin to learn how to manage it. That's just what you have. The next question is, how do you balance the demands of your time, as you just described, in addition to requests for conference presentations? Oh, that's a good one. I've learned to say no sometimes. It depends on whether it's aligned with the work that I want to do. Um, and within this year alone, I think I've said like maybe no 5 times. I have to ask myself, number one, going to that conference takes away a lot in the travel time, in being out of the office. So how is it going to advance my career? If it's going to advance me and I need to be there and I need to see, yes, I would say yes. But then sometimes I would say yes and I would plan that, okay, I need to just be there this time and this time. And then that could be a plus because when I'm traveling, it means that majority of my meetings are already canceled. Does that mean that that's the time that I then block for writing? Yeah, I kid you not. I finished grants when I travel for conferences. I can remember there was one time I was traveling in Barcelona. I was in Barcelona for a meeting, and it was really, I had like 2 days of back-to-back meetings. I selected what I wanted to do, and I just decided that, this time I'm going to go back to my hotel. I'm going to write and write and write. And I wrote a full grant, and I got the grant. So I think you have to think about what is good, what is not good, and how you balance. Even at the meeting, when are you going to be there? When are you going to be there? So great question, great questions. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining today. When people ask me what I do, I usually smile. I think this is one of the reasons that my children did not did not end up doing what I do, because they see how I do it. The answer, typically is some days I'm writing grants, some days I'm mentoring future scientists, some days I'm solving research problems, some days I'm building partnership around the world, and I do travel a lot, and I'm doing a lot of traveling this year. But I see that every day I'm learning, right? I'm learning every day. So being a professor has taught me something important. Productivity isn't about doing more. It is actually about protecting your time for what matters the most. So that means having good scholarship, right? That means having good scholarship. So this has been great. Thank you for joining again. I don't want to go over my time. It's 1 o'clock. The next episode on Academic Diaries with Professor O, we are diving into one of the biggest mysteries in academia. I'm actually doing this because of Dr. Timothea Bonner. She's always telling me, you need to tell us about how to get funded. You need to tell us the secret of getting funded. So Dr. Bonner, here we go. The next episode is going to focus on how research proposals really get funded. I'll share what happens behind the scenes, why rejection is part of the process, and how being persistent, not perfection, is often the difference between you being successful and failing at what you do. So until next time, thank you for joining today. Thanks.